I don't want to be the leader of Europe. It doesn't make sense. I want to be one of these leaders and this new generation of leaders, totally convinced that our future is a European future. I won in France against Marine Le Pen on a very clear basis and a very clear dialogue, which is the opposition between open and closed, European and nationalistic. I mean, it was a very clear discussion, a very clear deal. The whole story of Europe is about a series of wars trying to dominate the others. What we managed to build right after the Second World War is unique. Having 70 years of peace, which is brand new, it never existed in Europe. And I'm very attached to this principle because our values, our collective preferences are European. You have a strong attachment in the US to freedom, but with less attachment to equality than in Europe. You have a very strong attachment to market economy in China, but absolutely not the same relationship with freedom. This mix of capital markets, progress, equality and liberty is the DNA of Europe.
The United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
I think I do respect President Trump's decision not to follow up on Paris Agreement. And I made it very clear from the very beginning that there is no renegotiation of the Paris Agreement, because you cannot renegotiate with more than 180 or 90 countries. It doesn't fly. And when you look at the situation in the US today, even if President Trump decided not to confirm his predecessor's commitment, when you look at the commitments made by big cities, states, and private sectors, I do believe that we can match the initial US commitment. So my perspective with President Trump indeed is to say, you are a great partner of France, we are friends, you should revisit your decision and decide a new leadership for the US and for the planet to go further. It's impossible to guarantee that nobody will become crazy, that you will never have any terrorists or stupid people suddenly completely becoming crazy and trying or killing other people. But you can reduce this risk or better monitor the situation. And today, we don't have so many people trying to leave the country to join them in Syria and Iraq. Why? Because they are losing the war there. But you have some people becoming terrorists in your country, even without joining them there, even without any direct contact with them, but just because suddenly something happens in their mind. You have to deal with the deep roots and the deep causes of this phenomenon, trying to create more mobility and providing, I would say, new dreams, a new emancipation story to your people as well.
In January, America's intelligence community disclosed that the Russian government, on the orders of Vladimir Putin, engaged in an election influence campaign throughout 2016.
We are, both US, France, open democracies with very strong civil society and with a lot of debate, with free media, and with a lot of digital activities. And you have some other countries, and some of them are our partners, and some of them are very important players, and Russia is part of them. And I do respect them, and we have very important discussions with them, but don't share exactly the same values and the same rule of the game, I would say. And when they develop propaganda in other countries, when they develop potential activities in other countries, it's very serious, because it could create a bias in our presidential or in our campaigns, whatever the election could be. I had a very direct discussion with President Putin about such a situation. I expressed myself very clearly about that regarding France. And we will do what is requested in France and in Europe to have a better control and a better view on this potential activity. I don't tweet myself. and I don't follow myself because it's not compatible with the kind of distance you need to govern and to preside. I think that when you are in a situation to decide on your own, and when you have the responsibility of a lot of public policies and a lot of people, you cannot react permanently on this kind of media or on any media. You need time, you need distance, you need to organize fact-checking, to cross-check information, to think about what you should react or not sometimes. That's why Twitter is not always totally adapted to, this kind of job. It's fine for your private life, but the problem is you don't have any more private life when you're president. And no private reaction. Your reaction is a reaction of a president.